It's Jan Malloy here from the Immigration Museum. Hello, Orson Josephs, welcome aboard, and welcome Alfresh. It's good to see you up in Sydney.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about the work that you do as an advocate for human rights and social justice, and how your early experiences as growing up in Sydney and coming to music have influenced the work that you do today. So it would be really great if you could just introduce yourself to the group and explain to them sort of how you got to be where you are today.
Sure. So I grew up in southwest Sydney, in a place that was on the border of Liverpool and Campbelltown. So I went to school within Campbelltown, and it was just like every other kid in the classroom there, doing my thing and learning as much as I could. At some point during my teenage years, I picked up music through friends. Friends of mine had passed on some hip-hop music to me, and I really connected with it, really enjoyed it. And through that experience, just started to find that music was a way for me to express my voice, express my ideas, and to talk about things that were a little bit challenging. So I was able to talk about my experiences with my experiences growing up in Australia as a person from a different, I suppose, background to what's in the mainstream and what's on TV and what's on radio. And I got to talk about my experiences with racism and discrimination. I also got to share my ideas on positive things and things that I enjoyed, and just started performing at school to begin with, and then at community events, and just have been doing that for 10 to 12 years now. I've kind of lost count. Through that, we've been able to travel the country, which, brought me to Melbourne, which I'm now kind of based in Melbourne. I was able to connect with places like the Immigration Museum, to be able to do some more work with schools such as yours. So it's been a really great journey. It's been an awesome journey, a positive one, and I'm looking forward to how it progresses in the future as well.
Oh, thanks, Alfred. That was really, really a terrific overview. Perhaps you could talk a little bit to me about, you mentioned the fact that you experienced racism. So in terms of when you were at school, what did that mean for you? How was it expressed, and what did it make you feel?
Yeah, so I experienced it, I suppose, ever since joining school, and I probably didn't know it was racism to begin with. And you don't think about it as a kid as like, oh, this is racism, this is what that is. You just, you get picked on, and you get to be made to feel different because of how you look. It's a terrible feeling, particularly when you're in primary school, and you're trying to make friends and you're trying to have fun, but it kind of came from everywhere. So within school, outside of school, while I was at the shops or as I was walking down the street, people yelling stuff from cars. And that has happened for as long as I can remember. And it's challenging because as a person who was born and raised in Australia, being Australian is all I know how to be. So when you're made to feel different, and made to feel like you're not Australian, it's a very tough and upsetting position to be in, and a confusing position to be in, particularly when you're in primary school and you're in high school trying to figure out where you fit. So for me, I felt like I didn't fit. I didn't know, doubt started to come into my mind as to whether I was actually Australian and whether I was actually Indian. My parents coming from India. That kind of crept into things as simple as which cricket team I would support, whether I would support Australia or India when they played against each other. And this may seem like a really small thing to highlight, but when cricket's your passion as a young kid, and you follow it, with your heart and soul, and you're trying to pick a team that you support, and you want to be around supporters who embrace you as well. If you're not sure whether you're Australian, you're not sure whether you're Indian, and you feel like you don't fit in with both, then it can be a very challenging feeling. So, that's kind of a little bit about the experience of racism and discrimination growing up and how it made me feel.
So was there any time when you were especially in, say, primary school, where you noticed there was someone who made you feel that you did belong, and what was it that they did that helped you, I suppose, have a sense that you were being accepted for who you were and accepted as one of a part of a culturally diverse society, which is what we really are?
It's tough to say. I think the school made every effort to ensure that everyone felt comfortable and embraced. And they would have cultural days and things like that where you were allowed to bring things from your cultural background and share and things like that. So that was really cool. But there was kind of no one in particular who really, particularly in primary school, who really helped in that area. But with that said, in primary school, it wasn't something that I spoke about openly because, like I said, I didn't know it was racism. It was just I just was made to feel different. It wasn't until high school when I started to think about these things that and started to speak about them, particularly through music, and started to challenge them, that I had supporters, mostly within family, but also friends, and then teachers as well. I've had a few teachers who I think I'll never forget, who were very supportive in allowing me to express myself and allowing me to perform, allowing me to speak about these things, and who, whenever situations presented themselves, were there to support me through it. So, I think, and then I got to a point where I just said to myself, I'm not going to let it bother me, because when you're made to feel different, you can do two things. You can take it on board and feel really upset about it and really struggle with it, or you can not ignore it, but you can not let it affect you in a way that's negative. You can tell yourself, and this is what I did, tell yourself that it actually is their problem, not my problem. If someone is uncomfortable with me, then that means that there's something inside of them that they haven't dealt with yet. It says nothing about me, but everything about them. So, when I got to that point, and that was probably after high school, and I'm talking about 2 or 3 years ago, that I really started to feel comfortable, and I was able to, with a calm and respectful mind, able to deal with any and every confrontational situation and experience of discrimination.
Wow, thanks. That's a lot of information for us to take on board, and it's quite upsetting to know that someone who has grown up in Australia in the late 20th or 21st century and has experienced what you've experienced, and yet we as a nation trumpet our values and say that we are a successful, culturally diverse nation, yet to have someone talking that way makes me feel very much that there's a lot of space for us to move into to be sure that we are making everyone feel that they belong, because the fact of feeling that you don't belong has a huge impact on your capacity as an individual to grow. Although clearly you've been able to overcome that, but it seems that we've got to, it's terrible that you've had to have that battle, because there's plenty of other battles that we've all got to confront every day, just living. So that's something we've got to think about, isn't it, as a community?
Yeah, well, I'm thankful for those challenges and those battles, because it's made me who I am today. Something to consider is there's a whole generation and generations of people who are just like me in Australia, who have been through what I've been through and worse, who are becoming the nation's next leaders. So what does that mean? It means that we have, with these experiences in our back pocket, we are able to understand and acknowledge that issues like this exist, and we dedicate and commit ourselves to ensuring that they do not happen unaddressed for the next generations to come. So for those of you sitting in the classroom, what does that mean for you? It means that one day you are going to be the leaders in your families, in your communities, in our society, and that one day you will also be in a position to use your experiences, positive and negative, to help build a better tomorrow. So, you know, that's just the nature of life, isn't it? That's just the nature of living in a country that is as privileged as ours, that we can think about these things in a way that we can, you know, use them in such a positive way.
Wow, that's such a positive take on things. I find every time I talk to you, I have something like this. I think we've got a question, so it would be lovely if we can have our questioner come and speak. Introduce yourself and let Sukhdeep know what your name is, and then we can go from there.
What's your name? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, Cindy.
Cindy, nice to meet you, Cindy.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
What's your question, Cindy?
Oh, who's one person who has had a major impact in your life?
One person who's had a major impact on my life. That's a really good question. I'll pick one of my very early supporters in my music was one of my high school teachers, and his name was Mr. Zallo. And I still talk to him today. I finished high school in 2006, but I still talk to him today. But he was awesome, because he invited me to come to school early in the morning. So I would get to school at like 6:30, 7 a.m. And he would invite me into the recording studio there, and we would record music. And he was the first person to teach me how to record music and how to do it properly and professionally. And we did that for quite a while, and he helped me make my first CD and my first demo CD, which I helped promote my music. And I'll never forget those mornings, because they were really, really special. So I'll say my high school teacher, Mr. Zallo, is one of many important people. Thank you for your question.
Right.
Thank you.
Hello,
I'm Owen.
How are you doing? Nice to meet you, Owen.
It's rapping.
How did I get into it? So, my friends in high school, I was 14, so I reckon I would have been year 8 or 9 or something, probably. I have no idea. But they would give me CDs of just music, and they would give me a lot of hip hop music, rap music, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And then one day, just decided to. I can't remember what really inspired it specifically, but just decided to start writing music. And so I started writing lyrics on a notepad. And when I started writing lyrics on a notepad, I was like, okay, well now I need music to try and rap to. And I just went on the internet and I searched for like rap music, instrumental beats, all that kind of stuff. And I would find music that no one was using, and then I would just try rap to it. And I had like a microphone like the one that your school has, the one that you used to ask a question just now, and I would use that and record into my computer, and just kept doing it over and over and over and over, and started writing more songs. Then eventually started learning how to make my own music using software on the computer, which I'm sure your school also has access to, and couldn't stop. Once I started doing it, I couldn't stop, so I kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
What is your favorite part of rapping?
My favorite part is performing. Performing on stage is so much fun because you really get to see smiles on people's faces, and if you do a good job, then you get to see smiles on people's faces. And you get to see people dance, you get to see people move, and then being up there, you get to dance and move and have so much fun. And there are so many memorable moments. You get to travel from performing, but being on stage with my friends, who I call my family. There's nothing else quite like it, and that's such a privilege that I get to do that from rapping.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. See you, Trinity.
My question is, can you rap for us?
Yes, I can. I'm trying to think of one that might be suitable. Okay. I'm reshaping constellations with my fingertips. I'm careful when my finger slips. I'm holding tight, trying to get a grip of what it really is, but losing consciousness like a sedative. They say life's a trick, but man, it's all relative. Rappers ain't in tune now with the fifth element. Rhyming big words doesn't make you intelligent. It's bigger than that. It's got more to do with relevance and speaking from the soul, because it's where the true essence is. I'm driven by my belly because I'm hungry as hell like Machiavelli. Flowing through my veins is where you find the evidence. Look into my eyes now where the real message is. They tried to weigh my heart, but it defies all measurements. I figure it's divine intervention being prevalent, so when I speak it's like an act of paying reverence. Them preachers can block you from what the true vision is, so I close my eyes to understand what religion is. Studying the world's lessons whenever I reminisce, must time to strike right, cause chances are hit and miss. I'm careful of temptation when I see her lick her lips, cause those at the top fall the hardest like Icarus. Rhyming to the rhythm is the tool of a lyricist, so I speak till I can't breathe like I broke a rib. Now it's time to finish this. El Fresh the name, ain't a postman, but just put my stamp on the game. You open a can of worms. When you ask me to rap, I could go forever.
Hi, my name is Danny, and I would like to say thank you so much for allowing us to join you today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you all for being here and for your awesome questions. And I hope this is something you enjoy and something that you find valuable.
Elfresh, while we're just seeing if there are any more questions, do you think you could tell us where the name Elfresh comes from?
Yeah, sure. It's a bit of a story. So when I started rapping in high school, a friend of mine used to say to me, "Man, that's fresh. Your lyrics are fresh," and I liked that because it was encouraging. So I took it and I thought to myself, okay, well, what does fresh mean to me? And I broke it down as an acronym. So for me, fresh means forever rising, exceeding sudden hardships. So to always overcome, to redefine yourself in the face of challenges, and to never be beaten or broken by challenges or obstacles.
Very much, Elfresh. It's had a bit of a tough beginning, but we got there in the end. Thanks very much to all the students who participated, and we'll close now. So see you later.
Bye.